prediction markets are taking the world by storm. I mean, everyone is talking about it. You can't watch a program now on television without seeing a Polymarket or Kalshi ad. If you were watching the UFC this last week, they were showing the Polymarket odds on screen. They're literally partnering with news networks, sports leagues, and more to provide the truth, because in these markets, the resolution is always truth. In this video, I'm going to go over exactly an A to Z beginner's guide, how to begin understanding having an edge in prediction markets, and how to ultimately begin profiting in the future of trading everything, which is prediction markets. So without further ado, let's jump right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, my name is 𝗪𝗁. We come out with these videos every single week, 4 to 5 times a week around crypto and prediction markets. Like the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more. We're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. And for me, my preferred platform is Kalshi. We'll talk more about that here in just a second. But all in all, what are prediction markets? Well, you can see things scrolling across the screen here. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he just requested a trade, right? You can actually trade on where you think his next team's going to be. Let's just click into this one, for example. So if you are a sports fan, you can actually jump in here and say, hey, I think he's going to get traded to Miami, or Golden State is now the favorite outside of him staying in Milwaukee. So you can actually go ahead and trade on the future of where he is going to land. You can trade on if there's going to be a government shutdown, if you are an expert in geopolitics or economics, etc. What are the astronauts saying today on this NASA press conference? You can actually trade on that. You can trade on just general sports, Netflix rankings, who's going to be the next Fed chair. There's no limits to what you can actually trade on Kalshi and Polymarket. And one of my favorite things to actually trade are mention markets. You can actually jump in here and figure out what announcers are going to say during a basketball game or a UFC fight or the Super Bowl. You can actually trade on what Trump's going to say in any given speech. So like I said, there's a market for everyone here. And in this video, I'm going to try to give you an in-depth glance at how to find an edge in the niche that fits you most, and how to categorize these things and actually prioritize the niches you have an edge in to make profit. So first and foremost, if you are new to prediction markets, I would advise drop down below. There's a link in the description. You can sign up for Kalshi and get $25 into your account absolutely free. Kalshi will just give you $25 for using the link down below in the description. So if you need to jump in to a prediction market, I would recommend Kalshi, link down below in the description. And if you don't believe me that these markets are taking the world by storm, you can just look at the mention markets category. This is what announcers or politicians will say during given events or speeches. You can just see the volume and the growth over the last 6 to 7 months. I mean, yesterday this was almost $350 million in total volume across just mention markets. And there's endless markets for anyone to be able to dive into. And in this video, for the most part, I want to give you guys tools to find an edge, and also how I go about these things, making sure that I'm only trading markets that I actually ultimately will make profit in. So number one, I'm just going to go over a few of my laws for profits on prediction markets, ways that I've found successes, and also where I've kind of found some downfalls. So number one, don't oversize on random markets, okay? If you deposit $100, don't go put $100 on your first trade, and especially don't do it in a niche that you have no idea anything about. That is advice number one, and that's always going to be, like, if you're doing a mention market and you want to just, throw 100, your entire bankroll on one trade, I mean, you're really riding on pure luck at that point in time. You want to categorize your trades as far as your bankroll. If you put $100 in, maybe you trade $10 to $20 to start. Do not go in and just go all in on your first trade, because that's how you're going to get rinsed, and that's how ultimately you're not going to dive back in and find an edge. It takes trials and tribulations, so do not oversize, and especially on random markets. Like, if you're good at mention markets or sports, don't go into the climate section and say, hey, highest temperature in Seattle today, I'm just going to go all in. I think I know this, whenever really, I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not going to go burn my money on these random markets. So just make sure you don't oversize, and especially don't oversize on random markets. It's just like trading, okay? You can take a few losses, but make sure that over time, your bankroll management and your, position management allows you for your winners to make up for those few losers over the course of time. Number 2 is find a niche and hammer it, okay? Whenever I got into prediction markets, I'm not going to lie to you, I thought I could do sports, movies, music, and Netflix rankings, box office numbers, Rotten Tomatoes scores. I feel like I know movies. Okay, I'm a pretty well cultured guy whenever it comes to watching films. I would call myself like a hardcore film fan, but I don't know anything about Rotten Tomatoes scores or box office numbers. And whenever I tried my hand at that market, I burned money. Okay. Do not go do that. If you have no idea about crypto, don't go trade the 15-minute markets. If you're not a meteorologist, don't go trade the climate markets. Okay. For me, the only places that I really like to delve in currently are mentions and sports. And we'll talk about sports here in just a second, how to actually find an edge and make it more profitable and have more of an edge than if you're just trading or actually quote unquote betting on like FanDuel or DraftKings. But find a few niches and stick to it. Look, if you're some Netflix guru and you know US Netflix rankings, there's a market for you, right? You can go over to culture. You can actually jump in here. You can see who will get married on Love is Blind season 10, who will be engaged on Love is Blind season 10, Oscar awards. Like there's so many different things that you can find an edge in here. If you're a film guy, if you're a company guy, you like to listen to earnings calls. They have mention markets for earnings calls. You can definitely find an edge there. So for me, like I said, the ones that I've found the most edge in is mention markets, what people are going to say during different events, and also sports. But we'll talk about my sports strategy here in just a second. On mention markets, don't trade on speakers you have no clue or have never listened to, okay? I've made this mistake quite a few times. I've jumped into mention markets and I said, hey, there's the governor of Washington is speaking today. Washington State, like Seattle, Washington. He's speaking today. Oh, that's a money-making opportunity. I'm going to jump in here. I burnt money on that because I have never listened to this guy speak. I had no edge at that point in time. For me, my money makers are Trump, Mamdani, J.D. Vance, and I do like a few of these other speakers like 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏 HoChul, the governor of New York. And I do like sports markets. I'm a big sports fan, and I feel like I do know a lot of the lingo and what's kind of trending at the time periods and what certain announcers are going to say during a football or a basketball game. So for me, those are the few political speakers and events that I stick to. But whenever I branch off of that, when I go do what is Billy Bob Thornton going to say on Jimmy Fallon, I lose because I am not, that is not something I watch typically. And they're one-off markets. Like you never get to see ASAP Rocky go on Jimmy Fallon, but once a year, you know what I mean? So there's not much edge for you to have there. So don't jump in. Here, this one's exactly. Will Green Day say MAGA during the Pro Football Championship opening ceremony? I have no idea about that, right? So I'm just going to go and trade. What are the announcers going to say during the Pro Football Championship? I know I have an edge in that. I've been profitable over the course of this year trading NFL mention markets, and I'm going to continue doing that. So that's number 3, is on mention markets. Don't go just spread your money across random speakers that you've never listened to their rhetoric and you don't know their tone or the things that they tend to talk about. Number 4, on sports. This is key. So on sports, you don't want to just click in here like you would on Hard Rock Bet or DraftKings or any of these other sports betting apps. You don't want to just click in here and say, oh yeah, the Lakers are a better team than the Washington Wizards. Let's just go ahead. I'm just going to throw $400 on the Los Angeles Lakers to win 100, okay? Because if you go look at the odds on a sports book, you either are going to be getting good value or negative EV, negative expected value. What you want to do on sports, the only way that you can differentiate this from actually being just sports betting whenever you're looking at the sports markets on Kalshi or Polymarket is trading them live. Okay, you can legitimately find yourself edges if you just jump in here during events. You see the momentum swings, okay? You can maybe catch the Lakers down 15 points. You can catch them at maybe 20 cents. And then if they close that gap to 5 points, it's going to be closer to 50-50 or maybe even 65% for the Lakers. And the positive thing here is you can sell positions. So let's just say you say Los Angeles is going to win at 78 cents. And then by the fourth quarter, they're 95 cents. You can sell that for a gain at that point in time. It's just like trading, okay? So you don't have to wait for the events to be over with. In certain times in sports betting, you have to wait until the end of the game. So my number one advice is never do pre-game selections on sports. Watch the scores, see the game flow, see the momentum, and then trade these things live. If the better team falls behind early, you could catch a little bit of a swing. Whenever they come back, you can sell that position. Or, during a game, if you think a team has really just pulled away, you can put a position in at that point in time. But never, my big law is never pre-game sports anything across Kalshi or Poly market. Wait until the game is going on. I think maybe the only exception would be the Super Bowl, but even the Super Bowl, you could catch, Seattle losing at one point if you like Seattle, or you could catch a better price on the Patriots. So that's number 4. Never, ever pregame sports select on any prediction market. At that point, it is the exact same thing as sports betting. And 99% of people lose on sports betting. Number 5. As much as it sounds fun, maybe you're a guy like me, you're in crypto, okay? And, let's just keep it real. Crypto has not been fun for a while. The price action on Bitcoin has just not been a good time. And don't get me wrong, there's some pretty fun markets out here. What are the FDVs of new launches going to be? There's long-term markets. How low will Bitcoin get in the month of January? But stay away from the dopamine markets. And what I mean by this are 15-minute markets. You can literally trade on if Sol's going to go up or down over every 15-minute time period. This is where your dopamine receptors get shot. You're going to burn capital here. I can promise you that. Or even hourlies. Unless you are literally still an expert trader, I don't know why it's glitching so much. There we go. Unless you're like a pure-blown expert options trader, whatever the case is, it's really hard to nail these markets, and you will burn capital, even if you're like I do crypto full time. And these 15-minute markets, you'll think sometimes it's easy, but you have to trade above or below this certain price. And I can tell you, they'll cook you. These are very, very hard. And especially with these swings and prices, you don't get good value most of the time on yeses or nos. Stay away from what I'm calling them high dopamine, short-term gratification markets. Some of the most plus EV opportunities are actually going to be long-term opportunities in these types of markets. For example, if a politician's going to be ruled out, right? We saw Maduro. A lot of people are looking at Iran's leader now to potentially be out of power over the course of 2027. Sometimes those markets actually provide you so much more value, but the reason being is it's not short-term gratification. The world has just gone to a place where everyone's looking for short-term gratification. So the 5 bullet points that I stick to in my personal trading and things that have burnt me in the past that I've learned from that have brought me to these few bullet points are: don't oversize on random markets, okay? Have a risk system, stick to it. Number 2 is find a niche or two and hammer it. Don't go diversify across weather, music, movies, sports, mentions, company earnings, whatever the case is. That is just not the way to go. You will burn capital because a jack of all trades is actually a master of none. I know it's a very overused term, but in prediction markets, it certainly is the case. On mention markets, find your few speakers that are your money makers and stick to them. Don't just go put your money on Saturday Night Live because Cardi B's on there and you like her music or whatever the case is. We have no idea about these things, but when you have data to look at, and I'm going to go over softwares to use in just a second. When you actually have data on certain speakers, or you listen to Mamdani or Trump speak every single time, you actually start to figure out their rhetoric and where they tend to lean in their speeches. Number 4 is on sports. Never, ever go in pregame. always take live opportunities. This is where you're going to get the best value and the best prices, and you can actually see the momentum of the games. And last but not least, stay away from high dopamine short-term opportunities like 15-minute crypto markets. I promise you, like I said, you might feel like they're money makers, but the first time that it clips you for a loss, it feels way worse than that short-term gratification of a short-term win. Now, moving on down the track here, I do want to go over a few softwares that I use to be able to find information and get an edge. Because look, I'm going to be honest. I mean, I don't go manually searching transcripts for, and this is perfect right here. Like, never go, what will Alexander Skarsgård say during his Saturday Night Live appearance? Don't put your money on that type of stuff, especially if you have no idea about these types of things. But for example, with Donald Trump, let's just say, you can go to something like Mention Metrics. This is actually probably my most used tool whenever it comes to prediction market. We can go here and say hottest, and this is an interesting one. Trump, for some reason, loves to say how we are the hottest country ever since he took over. So you can actually search Donald Trump hottest. And you can see he mentions this about almost once every single speech. And this website actually does the transcripts for you and shows exactly how many times he says it, on which day he says it. Over the last 2 weeks, he said it about 10 times. So almost 10 out of 14 days. And most of the times, he doesn't speak every single day. But you can see here, he said it in his speeches 116 times in 41% of his total speeches. Let's go back here and let's just say Biden. He loves to say how Biden created a situation. He says it 3.5 times per speech. He says it 58% of his speeches. He has said this word. Here he says it 2 times, 12 times on the 27th. I mean, so these types of tools, you can actually go in and find real value on what politicians or different entertainers or company earnings calls will say. You can go look at the speakers here. We'll clear selection. Yeah, there we go. And then backtrack there. You can do companies. You can see Adobe, Airbnb, all these different earnings calls here. You can see culture, Mr. Beast earnings, or Mr. Beast mentions. You can see the Fed and Jerome Powell if you like to trade the FOMC meetings. So you can get data almost on every major speaker here: Bernie Sanders, J.D. Vance, Caroline Leavitt for the the weekly White House press briefings, etc. Number 2 for softwares. And if you like, locked in money, and there is ways to literally make guaranteed money in prediction markets, but you really just have to have discipline, because this is going to take pure data and not you going on an intuition or trading mention markets or sports markets on your own. There are such things as arbitrage. Arbitrage means taking advantage of price differences in the sports betting world. Let's just say between FanDuel and DraftKings, their lines might differ, and you might have a little bit of an edge by actually putting money on both platforms on the opposite sides, and you get free money. So here you can see you have a 4-cent edge on, will the US confirm that aliens exist before 2027? If you buy the yes on Polymarket, but buy the no on Kalshi, you actually are getting 3 cents on every single dollar, okay? And that's free profit. So if you arbitrage those, you put 100 here and 97 here, you're actually getting 3 cents on every single dollar that you place on those trades. So arbitrage opportunities do exist. And this here is eventquant.com. You can use this one absolutely free. And there's also bond opportunities. In the prediction market world, we call bonds almost guaranteed money. There's one on Polymarket right now that is, will Jesus Christ return before Grand Theft Auto 6? How would you justify the resolution of Jesus Christ returning before GTA 6? That's like free money, okay? Like, to me, that would be a bond, but you have to be willing to wait until Grand Theft Auto comes out. Or whenever Trump speaks and it's going to be about, tariffs. Tariff is usually priced at like 95 cents. If you really have the stomach to do it, you could place, $1 and you're buying $1 for 95 cents. So bonds and arbitrage are legitimate ways to grow your bankroll, but you have to be willing to put a lot down to actually win quite a little bit of money at a time. But those wins do stack up. So for Event Quant, you can find bond opportunities and arbitrage. And the last software, this is really crafted for Polymarket, but you can make it work across Kalshi or Polymarket. We can go in here and we can actually say bonds. So same type of thing. You can go in here, will Apple close above 260 at the end of this? You could do no for 95 cents. Like, it gives you recommendations for potential bonds. Trump RX launched by January 31st, no 97 cents. So you're basically buying dollars for 97 cents at that point in time. So this is betmore.fun. And this is, like I said, more crafted towards Polymarket, but you can utilize this on Kalshi as well. And also, if you guys want to follow some big brains who are killing it, these two guys are over 100K in profit each. Prediction Market Trader, he goes live across a bunch of the Trump speeches, etc. He posts a lot of insightful stuff about different traders and his ideology on trading. Really sharp guy. He was featured in the New York Times last week, so check out Prediction Market Trader on Twitter, and also 𝗨𝗏. I'm actually going to have him, or 𝗕𝗟𝗢. I don't want to botch his name. I think it's 𝗕𝗟𝗢. And I'm going to have him on the show actually coming up. But you can just see how big prediction markets are. Now they're on Coinbase, straight up. I opened up my Coinbase app the other day. I'm going to just do it here while I'm recording this, as if it's a live stream. But I'm just going to pull this up really quick. Predictions. Your predictions. Sports, politics, crypto. You could literally jump in here and trade prediction markets right on Coinbase. Just absolutely insane. So if you don't believe that this industry is going mainstream, literally the CEO of Robinhood said this is going to be a prediction market super cycle. I couldn't be more bullish on the future of this industry. And I genuinely think that this industry will create tons and tons of millionaires, not from people extracting like they do in crypto, from people actually digging into the trenches here and actually doing their research and finding an edge in these different prediction markets. So if you are new, like I said, drop down below, hit the Kalshi link. They will give you $25 just for placing your first trade. So if you deposit $25, place a trade, they'll just give you $25. I mean, there's really not a better proposition than that. You can just start small, scale up, find your edge. That's exactly what I've done. I only started with $250. My account's up to over $1,000. And look, I do think, and I've withdrawn a few times, but I just do think that this is going to be probably bigger than DraftKings, bigger than FanDuel. I think the growth in this industry is going to be absolutely insane. And I don't want you or me to miss out on this wave, which is why I'm going to be going hard on content, hard on live streams in this industry. So guys, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on Monday. As always, trade responsibly and stay bullish, my friends.